Hello, hello to you and 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 you. How's everyone doing out there? It's story time from the Sapphire Theater Company. I'm Dan the Bookman, here to help you with all your needs through the power of reading. I had a friend email me just the other day asking me, what can I do when my child brings home a bad report card? School is back. Whether you're in school or at home studying online, report cards are back. So I told them that I had the perfect book for him. It's Report Card Daze by Daryl E. Morton, illustrated by Angelica P. Cox. It was the end of the grading period at U Street Community Middle School and time for students to receive report cards. When Freddie Chandler's 8th grade class came back to their room after visiting Mrs. Barlow in the media center, the report cards were there, waiting at each student's desk. Most of Freddie's classmates sat down and began comparing grades, but not Freddie. Slumped in his chair with a stunned look on his face, he just stared at the back of his report card as if it were a firecracker ready to explode. Other students seemed pleased with their grades. Many had gotten A's and B's with a few C's. Meanwhile, there sat Freddie, staring silently at his report card, wishing that it wasn't his name printed at the top. From top to bottom, it was a terrible sight. Freddie had gotten awful grades in every subject except gym. If Coach Carrollton had given out A+, Freddie would have gotten one. In addition to being captain and a star point guard on the U Street Community Middle School basketball team, Freddie was the baseball team's best pitcher. He also played for the school's football team. Last year, Coach Carrollton told him that if he kept at it, he'll be a star wide receiver by high school. In fact, Freddie was so involved with sports that he ignored his other subjects and let his grades fall. This did not happen overnight, and maybe Freddie should have seen it coming. But because he was so committed to the teams he played with, he had not taken the time to study math, history, and his other subjects, or even turned in most assignments. Looking at his report card, Freddie knew that when his parents logged in and saw his late assignments and low quiz and test scores displayed through the U Street School's online portal, he would be in deep trouble. In his mind, a countdown began that he knew would end with him facing the music at home. Dun, dun, dun! After school, on report card day, Freddie's friend Carlos was waiting at the bus they both took back to their neighborhood. Carlos had gotten a great report card and wanted to tell Freddie about it. "Freddie, guess what?" he shouted. "I got all A's and 1 B. This is my best report card ever." Seeing the look on Freddie's face, Carlos stopped. He could tell that Freddie must have gotten a very bad report card. Freddie was looking straight ahead and walking like a robot. He was in a report card daze. Freddie and Carlos took a seat on the bus. Soon Dewey, another friend, noticed that Freddie looked a little down. He leaned forward and asked Carlos, "What's up with Freddie?" Carlos whispered back, "Got a bad report card." "Mrs. Chandler's not going to be happy," said Dewey. "He's lucky his father's still out of the country," Carlos replied. Freddie sat across the aisle from them, looking straight ahead, paying no attention to his friends or anything else. It seemed as if the bus pulled away from the school. By that evening, word had gotten around the neighborhood about Freddie's report card. Carlos, Dewey, and a few other kids gathered outside of Freddie's home to see what would happen after his mother saw it. They kneeled below the dining room window and waited. Then it happened. Boom! Mrs. Chandler erupted like a volcano. Her voice shook the windows and doors. The small group hiding outside jumped to their feet and scrambled away. "This is the worst report card I've ever seen," Mrs. Chandler yelled. "Your father and I will be discussing this as soon as this plane lands in Kenya." She paused and said, "Freddie, what happened?" "I don't know," Freddie mumbled, staring at the floor. The shame and fear he had felt when he first saw his report card in the classroom was now as big and heavy as an elephant. His chest and stomach felt like they were being squashed. "I know what's not going to happen, young man," his mom shouted. "No more TV or video games. You will stay off the computer unless you're doing schoolwork. Oh, and definitely no more sports. Not until you get these grades up. That might take forever," Freddie moaned. His fear and shame now turned into fear and anger. "Basketball, baseball, and football are all I'm really good at," Freddie thought to himself. "How can she take that away from me?" "One more thing," Miss Chandler sternly said, then held out her hand. "Give me your cell phone." Freddie trudged to his room and saw all the things he wasn't allowed to do until he brought his grades up. Xbox 360, iPad mini, his basketball and baseball glove. The next day at school, the news had spread that Freddie was on punishment at home. Coach Carrollton was disappointed. In 3 weeks, the baseball team would be trying to win the district championship, then would not have much of a chance without Freddie, their star pitcher. In gym class, he pulled Freddie aside. "Freddie," the coach said, "I got an email from your mom last night. Until you bring your grades up, you can't play any school sports. Listen, you're the best player on the team. That means you also have everything it takes to be the best student in the classroom. You know that, right?" Later that day, as Freddie's mother arrived home from work, she saw Carlos sitting on their steps. "Why the long face, Carlos?" she asked. "With Freddie on punishment, I don't have anybody to play with," he answered. "You can go over to Dewey's home or Keith's," suggested Mrs. Chandler. "They're your friends too." "Yeah," said Carlos. "The problem is Big Rodney and the Holt brothers from Guilford Avenue have challenged our block to a game, but Dewey and Keith won't play without Freddie. I don't know what to do." That evening, Miss Chandler sat down with Freddie. "I had a video call with your father this morning, and he is as disappointed as I am with your grades. However, we also want to help you get back on track," she said. "You do?" said Freddie. The heaviness he had been feeling since yesterday lifted a little. "Yup," she said. "I know you love sports and you're a wonderful athlete, but you need to take the skills that help you on the field and use them to score in the classroom too. Your father and I, your teachers, friends like Carlos, we can be your team in the classroom. Does that make sense?" "Sort of. It's just," Freddie struggled to find the words. His throat felt like it was clogged with cotton. His eyes watered. "When I'm on the field, I feel strong. Coach Carrollton and everybody else are cheering me on, telling me I can do it. I don't always feel that in class. Sometimes I raise my hand and don't get called on, like it doesn't matter to my teachers if I'm not there, like I'm invisible." A tear rolled down Freddie's cheek. His lips began to shake. "Mom, what if I'm not smart enough to get good grades?" Freddie's mom sighed and took him in her arms. "Oh, Freddie, of course you're smart enough. Listen, we just need to make a plan that balances everything, and we need a strong team, just like the one you have on a baseball field or basketball court. Your father and I are going to stay in touch with your teachers by email. We'll work with them so that you're fully supported in class. We'll also put together a better study schedule. But you have to do your part. You need to practice your schoolwork at the same level you practice getting ready for sports games." Freddie looked at her and nodded. He was starting to feel better. Miss Chandler spent hours communicating with Freddie's teachers and talking through Skype with Freddie's dad, a college professor visiting a university in Kenya. Together, they used the many resources available for parents on the U Street School website. After creating a schedule for Freddie, Miss Chandler encouraged him to invite his friends to the community library for a study group. Dewey and Rodney created learning apps, while Carlos found websites that quizzed everyone on different subjects. They had fun working together. 3 weeks later, Freddie came running into the house after school. Dewey, Keith, Carlos, and many other U Street kids waited outside as Freddie showed his mother his student progress report. "Look," yelled Freddie as he handed the report to his mom. Freddie had improved his grades in all subject areas. "You see what hard work can do?" his mother said. "Yes, Mama," said Freddie as he hugged her. "I spoke with your father and your teachers, and I also got a call from Coach Carrollton. Everyone agrees and feels it's okay to let you back on the sports teams. But you gotta promise that you will continue to commit your classroom team and your father and I, so we'll never lose you to the bench again. Understand?" "Yeah, Mom, I do. And I promise," said Freddie. "I don't want to get a report card like that ever again." "Son, we know you're great at playing sports, but you have to be even better in the classroom," she said. "With you, Dad, my teachers, and friends, I know I've got a pretty good academic team now." "Good," said Miss Chandler. "Now let's go get some ice cream." Mom, can we get ice cream after?" Freddie's voice trailed off nervously. "Freddie, after what?" Miss Chandler asked. "After Keith, Dewey, and I go over to Fairfoot Baseball Complex and show Big Rodney and his Holt brothers how a real team plays together. Then can we all go for ice cream?" Freddie said confidently. "Yeah," shouted Freddie's friends, still watching everything from outside. "Oh my goodness, this is the whole neighborhood," said Miss Chandler with a worried look on her face. The end. You see, if you're going through problems, you don't have to be the only person to go through the problems. You can create a team. There's many people that can be on your team. Your mom, your dad, your friends, your teachers, just like Freddie had. Even I can be on your team. If you need help with anything, if you need a book to help you with any problems you have, I'm your man. Just email me at daniel@sapphiretheater.com. That's Daniel@SapphireTheatre.com. And I will help you with all the problems you have. Until next time, keep reading. Bye.